Are you ready to take the MSP experiment? How would you do if you had to win a load of new clients within the next 90 days? Yes, just 90 days to find and sign up new managed service clients. The reason isn't important. It's a thought experiment. But does the sound of having to do that make your blood run cold? If so, let's dig into why it's such an important test and the real-world benefits to your MSP. This is kind of based on a question I was asked on a podcast I appeared on a few months back. I can't quite remember which one it was right now, but the host asked me if I had to start an MSP from scratch, what would I do? And I think he was waiting for me to suggest which RMM I would use and which PSA and what my tech stack would look like. But the answer I actually gave was that I would figure out all of that stuff only after I'd won some clients. So I'd focus all of my time, effort, and energy into creating a pipeline and then shaking that tree until some new business fell out of it. Yeah, I know I've mixed up my analogies there, but you see the point I'm making, right? I've never actually owned or run an MSP, but I've been a business owner for 20 years. And there's no point getting your operations ready and perfect if there are no clients to put through those operations. So let's make that a real-life question for you. Not what would you do if you started again with your MSP, but if you absolutely had to generate new business in the next 90 days, what would you do? Don't get too hung up on the whys about this. Just imagine you've lost a big client or your personal circumstances dictate that you just need more cash. The reason is not relevant. What's more important is to talk about what you would actually do. A quick aside, if that was a real situation for you and you desperately needed more cash in the next month or so, that cash is going to come from your existing clients. There's always more revenue and certainly higher levels of profit to be made selling something to your existing clients than winning new clients. But for the purpose of this piece here, what would you do to win new clients in just 90 days? Well, let me break this down into a series of suggestions. The first of those would be actually the way that you think and the way that you act. One of the reasons that many MSPs really struggle with marketing and winning new clients is because they simply don't take it seriously. If you're only spending 20 or 30 minutes a day or even a week on marketing, how can you expect to get momentum on that? How can you expect to get traction? There are MSPs that have full-time departments of people who are generating leads, warming up those leads and turning them into clients. And I appreciate these are probably bigger businesses than yours, but they're properly resourcing what is a critical function of growing a business. So if you need new clients in the next 90 days, you have to throw yourself into that task. That means a minimum of 90 minutes every single day working on your marketing. And that really is the minimum. Depending on how urgently you needed new clients, you'd spend more and more and more time. I've always thought in the back of my head that if my business was in real trouble and I needed to generate new revenue urgently, I reckon I could free 4 to 5 hours a day, just things I could just drop in my day, and it might create a bit of chaos, and I'd be calling in all sorts of favors from colleagues and perhaps even parents to help ferry my child around to after school clubs and stuff. But if it came to it, I could arrange that within like 48 hours. And that means that very quickly I'd have 4 to 5 hours a day of extra time to invest into new marketing to win new clients for my business. And in this kind of emergency situation, the 90-day thing, you'd have to be willing to do the same thing, even if that creates some short-term pain. Because it is only short-term and it will ease quickly once the new clients start coming in. So time is a necessary resource, and also cash. You need a bit of that as well. It always shocks me how little some MSPs spend on marketing, how little they invest when there are some amazing marketing resources out there. And obviously, I've got to give a shameless and blatant plug for my own service here, the MSP Marketing Edge, which is for as little as £149 or $199 per month. And we only work with one MSP per area, but I'll just leave that one there. So you need a mindset of total urgency. That's vital, and you need to resource it properly. Those are kind of a couple of the basics. And two other of the basics that you need is to make sure that your website and your LinkedIn are as good as they can possibly be without spending tons of time on them. When someone's thinking about talking to you, they will check out your website. They'll have a look at your LinkedIn as well, both your personal profile and your business profile. And it really doesn't take that much effort to get both of these assets to be as good as they can be. The basic rule is to make them reflect who you are as a person and the benefits of working with you. People will choose you or not choose you based on their ability to relate to you and how you can make them feel. If your website is cold and it's all about tech and stock images and looks the same as all the other MSP websites, then you're going to get the same results as all the other MSPs, which is a poor pipeline of prospects. Never be afraid to stand out, to be a little bit different, although not by using a gimmick. Be human, be real, and talk to people in their language. At this point, let me mention the 3-step lead generation system that I've been recommending for years and years, and which my MSP Marketing Edge is built upon. We help MSPs to implement it. It's 6 words, super simple, but incredibly powerful. Step 1, build audiences. Step 2, grow relationships with those audiences. And step 3, convert relationships. Now, I've got videos on YouTube and podcast episodes dedicated to this system. But if you've only got 90 days, we want to do the super speedy version of it. So let me give you now a version that takes more time and more resources. It's more intensive, if you like, but it should give you results faster. So it's not something you'd build for the long term. It's the emergency version. You start by auditing what you already have. Very rarely in an established business are you really starting with any marketing from scratch. More likely, you're already sitting on a bunch of assets that you're not leveraging enough. So what data do you have of prospects in the business that you're not using? Do you have a drawer full of business cards of people you've met at events over the last 10 years that you never really followed up on? Do you have inquiries on your Outlook that all the people you spoke to years ago and you have no idea what's happening with them today? These are all marketing assets that you can leverage because you can email all of these people. You can phone them. You can add them on LinkedIn. And yeah, sure, some of them are dead, but some of them are also no longer the one-man bands or one-person bands they were 10 years ago. Now they've got 25 staff and they're dissatisfied with their incumbent MSP, but you have no idea until you reach out to them. So look at emails, notes from calls, find old notepads, read everything from back in the day. Any old interaction from anything up to 10, even 15 years ago. It could be a relationship you could renew in the next 90 days. That's step 1, which is to build audiences. Now, step 2, grow relationships. And the first thing there is to invest some of that time that you've created each day into spending time on LinkedIn. The key to marketing your MSP is to get the right message in front of the right person at the right time. So every day on LinkedIn, I suggest you focus on the 4 C's: connect, contact, content, and comment. That means connecting to new people, sending them a message to contact them when you are connected, putting content on LinkedIn every day. In fact, one piece of content every 24 hours works best right now for the algorithm. And then finally, commenting on other people's posts. And it's this commenting which encourages people to connection request you. So it's not just a flood of one-way requests from you to other people, it's two-way traffic. LinkedIn is an amazing place for MSPs to go farming for new clients, but it isn't a fast place. It's really hard to speed it up. It's farming, not hunting. So for that reason, I suggest you get out networking, not the cables, the early breakfasts, meeting people in a hotel room, that kind of thing. See if you can find one event every single weekday for the next 90 days and go attend it. And that might not just be in your town, but other nearby towns, or you might look at vertical specific events. But your goal is to get in front of other human beings at least 3, 4, maybe even 5 days a week. Start meeting people, start building relationships. Because unlike all of the digital stuff, which is free and easy to do, but takes a long time to build a relationship, in networking, you have to put time and effort in. Yet, the relationship is built significantly faster. Don't assume you're going to get clients from the first time you meet someone, but you may meet the same person 2 or 3 times over a number of weeks or months. And that leads maybe onto them referring you to someone they know who's looking for a new MSP, or it might set up a conversation that you have with them. Networking really is a great place to go farming for business. But most MSPs don't bother with it. And I do understand that. Personally, I don't like networking myself. In fact, I actively avoid it. But in a situation of urgency, what I would do is hit a ton of networking events consistently over 90 days. And if you do this, it will propel your relationship with prospects forward and quickly enhance your reputation and profile. And then the final step is to convert relationships. And I'm afraid you need to do another activity here that may be uncomfortable to you, but that is to pick up the phone for at least 60 to 90 minutes every day and make outbound phone calls. Phone anyone and everyone. Everyone on those old business cards or those old contacts you found. Phone everyone you meet at networking events, whether you believe they've got any business for you or not. You use the phone to reach out to people and build relationships by talking about their favorite subjects, themselves and their business. The last thing you do is talk about your MSP and what you do. These calls are a relationship building exercise. Most MSPs have massive follow-up failure and would never do this, so they miss out on the low-hanging fruit, the easy winners that are just sitting there, but you don't find out about them for the sake of not making a phone call. This kind of marketing, it really is a numbers game, and the phone just speeds things up for you massively. My final thoughts on this, a lot of the stuff I've just described there really doesn't sound like fun, does it? And yet it works. Because when you throw yourself into 90 days of activity like this and you see it through day in, day out, even on the days you really can't be bothered to do it, something amazing happens. You build up big mo, also known as big momentum. And momentum can count for so much within marketing. You should always be aiming to get a ton of momentum going in your marketing. Once the wheel's spinning, don't let it slow down. In fact, keep speeding it up and up and up and up. So I know this is a fictitious 90 days, and you probably don't have that kind of urgency in your MSP. But is there something here that's made you think, yeah, I could do that?
Paul Green's MSP Marketing Edge.